So if you will, make your way to a tall spine, a comfortable seat, mountain pose in the chair. So your hands can rest in your lap. Find a comfortable spot for your feet on the floor. I usually like to line up my ankles right below my knees. And that's like your foundation, and everything builds up from there. So you can imagine moving through the rest of your body, finding a little bit of sense of strength, of stability. Lift your chest a little bit higher toward the sky and lengthen your spine. Just take a few moments to start to breathe and notice your breathing. And also notice how your body feels today. You can close your eyes if it helps you tune in. Watching your inhales. Watching your exhales. Noticing sensations. You can even notice what your thoughts, what your brain's up to. Just try not to get carried away. So sometimes I imagine that I'm watching my thoughts like water going by in a stream, clouds in the sky. I'm noticing that they're there, but I'm also just kind of letting them go on by. I don't have to see where they're going or follow them. So this is like our base level. This is what we're working with as we head into practice. You can just continue to lightly observe these touchstones, body, breath, minds, throughout practice and see maybe what shifts when we take a little time to breathe and move together. So with that, let's start with Ujjayi breath as our breathing exercise today. So that's the one where we make the ocean sound in our ears, or sometimes people call it Darth Vader breath. You open your mouth and kind of constrict the back of your throat like you're making a ha noise, like H-A, and breathe out slowly. So hopefully you can hear that. I'm breathing in through my nose. Exhaling with this open mouth, this ocean breath. So a few more times like that. And if you get the hang of it, you can also close your mouth for the exhale. And then you'll just hear that sound in your ears. Maybe one more, doing this ocean breath style breathing. Noticing how it makes you feel. And if you want to, you can kind of keep going, doing that occasionally throughout practice. Anytime you need a little extra something to help you stay focused. Otherwise, you can just go back to whatever type of breathing feels more normal, regular for you. Okay, with that, let's get started. Let's shrug those shoulders up toward the ears, take them around in a big circle. Loosening things up. And then they kind of go the other way, up, over, down the front. Wonderful. Slide your hands down your knees, around your back, tuck your chin, exhale. Bring your chest forward, tuck the elbows behind you, maybe look up a little bit, and then head back and forth between those two positions. Exhaling into that cat shape, and inhaling into the cow shape. All right. So back to more like a neutral spine. Let's twist a little bit, lifting your chest first, and then just gently swiveling back and forth. Get gentle exploration. Sometimes their backs are stiff, so you don't want to force anything, just like seeing how this goes today. All righty, maybe the next time you're on the left, stay there. Pretend that you're sending, the action is headed out of this left shoulder, sending it back. You can even look back there if that helps. And then try it on the other side. A lot of times in traditional yoga images, you'll see people kind of pushing themselves, or they have their hands rested and they look like they're pushing themselves deeper into the pose, but we want to avoid that, especially when we have our older age bones, because they may be a little bit more brittle, sensitive. So this action of just using your muscles to guide you into the stretch is what we want to aim for instead. Okay. Unwind, face the front again. Let's inhale, reach the arms up toward the sky, palms facing each other. When they get up there, they flip, and then they come back down with your exhale. Loosening up those shoulders some. Back and forth. Wonderful. Okay, let that go. Let's do our sun salutation at the chair. So separate your feet just a smidge for a little bit of more stability, and you can kind of inch your toes forward some too. False spine. Inhale, reach on up toward the sky. That's our inhale move, and with our exhale move, we come out over those legs. So you have options here. If you have osteoporosis or have been told not to forward fold or be careful folding forward folding, you can stay up kind of high like this and simply sort of cat-cow your spine again like we did a moment ago. If you're more comfortable coming down further, you can reach even toward the toes or somewhere in between. But the action here is that we're exhaling and rounding our backs and then inhaling to flatten and reach through the crown of the head. So a couple more times. A little stretch for that low back. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, tuck your chin, hands on the knees, slowly kind of roll back up. reach toward the sky. That's the inhale move, and then with the exhale, we will grab and hug this right leg in toward us. You can circle your ankles a couple of times while you're here. It's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. If you're ever trying to grab your knees for one of these poses and it's too high, then maybe see what you have around the house, like a belt or a scarf or something like that, or even just loose pants, and just bring your knee up as high as it'll go. It doesn't have to come all the way in toward your body. Okay, other way around with your ankle circle. You haven't changed that already. Let's likewise kind of circle his hip in the socket a couple of times, loosen that up. And the other way. Wonderful. Okay, before we let this go, sit up nice and tall. Let's kick 3 times to the front. Ha, 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 and then hold. So don't hold your breath, just hold your leg. It's always a challenge to remember to keep breathing during some of the poses. We have a natural tendency to try to hold our breaths. And before you let this go, pulse out to the side a few times. Wonderful. Okay, put back on the earth. Slide your hands back along those thighs, tuck the elbows, lift the chest. That's the inhale move. And then go back to neutral with this exhale. Next inhale, reach skyward. Next exhale, hug this left leg in. Give it a couple of circles. And the other way. Loosen the hip a little bit. And the other way. All right, before we let this go, let's sit up nice and tall, flex the foot, kick to the front, making our ha noise, that's optional. Ha, 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 and then hold, sit up tall. Pulse that leg out to the side. And then release. Put on the earth, slide those elbows back, lift the chest. And release. Okay, option is stretch that back one more time, staying up higher, going a little lower. Inhale to the sky and then exhale out over those legs. I'll model the higher version this time, rounding up here. And then lengthening through the spine once again, like you're reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, slowly make your way on back up with that tucked chin and the rounded spine until you slowly return to seated. You can seal things off with one more big inhale to the sky and exhale to your heart. Okay, so let's see what we can do with those loosened hips that we worked on. Let's do a little warrior 2 at the chair. So start with from your like goddess position. So where you're kind of scooted out toward the edge of the seat. Knees are open, like you've opened yourself up like a book. And then we'll start with this right leg as the leg that's leading off. You might even move your chair to the side if that's a little bit more comfortable. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to open this right leg. I'm going to kind of sort of walk it even further to the right, just a little bit. You see how much flexibility and room you have in your body to find a place that's still comfortable. So this is going to be my leading leg, and then I'm going to walk the foot out over here on this left leg. My toes are a little bit off screen, but what I'm doing is picking them up and then kind of rotating them back in toward the middle of my body and then placing that bend back down again. So this is my foundation, my legs. pressing into the legs, almost like you could come up out of the chair like I just did. But what's more important is you just feel strong, feel engagement in the core, pressing those feet into the earth. Then the arms come up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. You can look over those right fingertips. You might check yourself out in the camera and see if your shoulders and hips are lined up. Usually we kind of tend to jut forward, but we want to be more lined up. Okay. A few breaths here. Our strong, proud warrior. And then you can either stay put or introduce a little movement, a little dancing to your warrior. So flip your palm, exhale, reach forward. Inhale, come back to that neutral position we started in. And then with the next exhale, you can kind of brace yourself over here with this left hand and then lean back, reach up with the right. A little stretch in your side. Wonderful. Go back to neutral and then decide if you want to do all that one more time. Exhaling forward. Inhaling neutral. Exhaling, little side stretch. Inhaling back to neutral. You can let your fingertips kind of touch near your belly. Maybe take a couple of those Ujjayi breaths once more and just check in with your body and see how it's doing. Those touchstones we started off with in class, body, breath, and mind. How do you feel now? And we'll try all that on the other side. So go back to your goddess shape. This time it's the left leg that's leading off. You might open it up a little bit more to the left if you have room physically. And then extend this right leg, coming up on that heel, bringing the toes in, like toward the midline, and then placing them back down on the earth. Inhale, take those arms up. A couple of breaths here, making sure your shoulders are comfortable, making sure your neck's comfortable. You feel strong, rooted to the earth, powerful, sending energy out through the fingertips and out through the crown of the head. Okay, flip the palm, exhale, reach forward. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, lean back, take that arc shape in the right side body. Inhale, back to neutral, and then the option to do it all again. Wonderful. Fingertips can touch, take a little moment. Notice how you feel. All right. So with that, you can either repeat some of that if you want to stay seated down in the chair, or if you want to stand up with me for a moment. We'll work on balance and tree pose, which is another pose that we can use to take advantage of those open hips that we've worked on in class today. So let's bring the right leg to where it's close to the back of the chair. Circle this left leg, open it up to the side. You've got options here. The toes can stay on the earth. Your foot can come up on your shin or come up really high on your thigh. Just avoid pressing on your knee. That's the main rule. So make sure you have a little bit of slack in this right standing knee, that it's not locked out really tight. And then you get to look in the distance and try to find steadiness there. That focal point that helps us with our balance exercises. And then you get to decide where the hands are going to go. They can stay close to the back of the chair, hanging onto the back of the chair. They can grow like little tree branches to the hips, the heart, the sky, maybe. Find your spot. Wonderful. So hang on to the back of the chair once more. Check out your landing pad space over to the side. And take a big sumo wrestler style step over there. Rotate your toes out, like for the standing version of goddess, and then reach skyward. Big inhale. Big exhale. Wonderful. Let's try that on the left. Left leg's the standing leg this time. Root down, round into the floor. Open that right knee out to the side. Find your little kickstand motion either on the floor or shin or even up higher on the thigh. Focus in the distance and then deciding where your tree branches are. Okay, grab onto the back of the chair once more. Take that sumo wrestler step. Secure your feet. And then reach skyward. Nice big inhale for our star pose. Big exhale. Lovely. Okay. Meet me bound back down in the seat. Right leg comes out, toes up, all spine. Big inhale. And exhale in to the stretch out over that leg. All right, come on back up. Try it on the other side. And back up. So I always like to do this pigeon shape. Feels like a good hip stretch to me because I sit a lot during my work day. But if you want to do something else during this part of the practice while we're winding down, you can. If you're with me in the pigeon, then keep this foot flexed here, the one that's on top. If the whole thing configuration is a little bit too high, then maybe you do something like this, or if you have something around the house that you can stretch it against. Sometimes you've got something that's just the right height for that. And from here, if you already feel the feeling in your hip, then you can just stay put. And if not, you just sort of tip forward a little bit, leading with the chest until you do. Wonderful. Okay. Right on the left. All spine, flexed foot, hinging. And then let it go. Return to your mountain pose, that seated position we started in. And I'll lead us through a mantra-based meditation this evening. It's just sometimes for some folks, having a few words with your meditative exercise helps them stay focused. See if that seems to be a right fit for you. I'll give you some words as an example, but if you can't remember what I say, then it's fine to make up your own. Just repeating internally to yourself with each inhale and exhale, a little poem. I know I am breathing in. I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, I calm my body and my mind. Breathing out, I smile. I dwell in the present moment. For I know it is a wonderful moment. I know I am breathing in. I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, I calm my body and my mind. Breathing out, I smile. I dwell in the present moment. I know it is a wonderful moment. And so on at your own pace. And letting that go when you're ready. And we'll sign off with one more big inhale together. And the hands to the heart. All right.